5, you might start some beef. Puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders. I used to hit myself in the back of the head all the time. You can do this exercise with 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells. What's up, YouTube? It's Chris coming back at you with another video. Today I'm gonna go over my least favorite tricep exercises. Not in any particular order as always, just the ones on my list of probably won't do them anymore or alter them to a way that I feel more comfortable doing them. All of the exercises that I'm gonna go over today, I've done at one point or another, but that doesn't mean I still do them today, or at least the way that I used to do them. So let's get into it, starting with number 1. So the first exercise I'm going to talk about is the dumbbell tricep kickbacks. You can do this exercise with 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, using a bench, or just freestanding. So you'll grab the dumbbell, and what you'll do, I'll turn to the side to better demonstrate. You'll do your bend over, put your elbow 45 to 90, and you'll take the weight and extend your arm and hit your triceps that way. Yeah, hit your triceps a little bit, but I think when you get to your full extension where you're supposed to feel it mostly in your tricep, gravity's pulling the weight down and you're hitting your shoulder. I'll get that flexion that I'm looking for, but it's not as much as I would get from another exercise that I'll do. And it's the same thing with both dumbbells. You'll do the same motion, just with 2 dumbbells instead of 1. But if you're watching my last video about my favorite tricep exercises, I used the cable machine to do the extensions. That was my second favorite exercise. So if you go to my last video, in the description or in the chapters, you'll go to exercise 2, and it should be that one. I call them bent over tricep extensions. Another name for them is cable tricep kickbacks. But yeah, it's the same thing. Just go to my last video, go to exercise number 2, and it'll clearly demonstrate an altered way to do the dumbbell kickbacks, or completely different exercise for the dumbbell kickbacks, but it's better for your triceps versus your shoulders. The second exercise I'm going to be talking about today is the seated overhead tricep press. This exercise can be done seated, it can be done standing. All the issues that I have with it is the same whether you're sitting or standing. Since I have short ceilings, I'm going to be doing the seated version. You'll take the dumbbell, put it overhead, and take the weight and go through the motion as this. Couple things wrong. When you're at the bottom of the exercise, you putting your shoulders and rotator cuffs in a bad position. When you come up to the top of your exercise, your triceps aren't getting the full extension that they need. I used to do these all the time, and yeah, you'll feel them in your tricep, but once you start doing them more and start overloading the weight, you run into a number of different problems. Another issue that I had with the tricep overhead press is I used to hit myself in the back of the head all the time. This is what it'll look like if I got heavier weight. I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna show you what it looked like, and I'll do a side angle too to show you how crazy I looked doing heavier weight and trying to overload the tricep with this exercise. So that's how that's how it looked. But yeah, like I said, I used to do these all the time. I don't do them anymore. I switched it over to the easy bar, so that way I can get my hands out a little bit and not touching. And at the same time, when I come up, I can flex my elbows. I can flex my triceps and actually hit more of the tricep heads versus my shoulders and rotator cuffs because my hands are so close together. So the third exercise I'm going to talk about today is the cross-face tricep extensions. I did this exercise maybe once or twice before I cut it out of any of the programs that I did. It just puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders. It puts a lot of pressure on your elbows. Once you get into heavier weights and start doing progressive overload, which you should be doing anyway. Progressive overload is the way you grow. So you take the weight, lay back on your flat bench, turn your hand as if you're doing the bench press with a barbell, and take the weight, and exactly as in the name, you go across your face. What I like to do, if I was to throw these back, put my hand here, across my bicep to keep stability and keep my arm locked at that 90-degree position, or perpendicular position to my body. So I'll grab my bicep, go across and extend there. Once you get into those heavier weights, you'll start shaking, you lose some stability, you lose grip, puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and as you can see, it put some pressure on your elbow. It could put pressure on your elbows as well. As always, if you do these exercises and you feel like you're getting something out of them, you can progressively overload and you're not injuring yourself or putting yourself in harm's way and having to take time off because you pinched a pinched nerve or injured a rotator cuff or anything like that. And by all means, do them. I mean, I wouldn't program these anymore, and I wouldn't do them myself. At least not to progressively overload. Maybe as a finisher or super lightweight, high rep. Number 4 is tricep pushdowns, similar to rope extensions. These are ones that I still do from time to time, but when I do them, I focus on keeping my elbows at my side, because the way that a lot of people do them, take the straight bar, and when they get close to failure, they'll flare their elbows out. And this will start to hit more of your pecs and shoulders versus your triceps. So that's why I keep my elbows tucked in. So that way, no matter what, I'm hitting my triceps. Number 5, might start some beef. Reverse grip tricep pushdowns. It's the same thing, or close to the same thing as the regular tricep pushdowns. As I'm going through the motion, you can see my elbows starting to flare out. My hands aren't even really gripping the bar, so it focuses a lot more on your grip. Once you start putting a lot more weight on the machine, you'll start to notice that you're hitting forearms too. It's not a bad thing to hit 2 muscles at one exercise. That's why this isn't like the end all be all. I'm only one person with my opinion, and if I was to hit or use reverse grip pushdowns, I would focus more on getting my hands away from each other as much as possible. Once your hands are closer together, your pinkies are fighting to grip the bar or stay on the bar. Your elbows are starting to flare out, and it's harder to keep tension on the tricep. But if you get your hands further apart, you can still keep your elbows tucked and even get some forearm activation with this, because you're actually working on some grip strength too as you with the reverse grip. And there you have it. Here's a list of my least favorite tricep exercises today. Next year they might change, tomorrow they might change, but as of right now, I do not do these exercises the way that I talked about them today. I either do them a different way or I completely substitute them out for a different exercise that I do now. I'll leave a link in the description for my favorite tricep exercises. And with that being said, I'll let you have a good morning, afternoon, night, day, whatever time zone you're in when you're watching this video. But always remember, keep grinding.